Arsenal have had their best league finish since 2016 after finishing second in the Premier League. They were on course to winning the Premier League, but results towards the end of the season really killed that dream dead. But today I'm taking charge of Arsenal, and by the end of this video I will make them the best team in the world. But once again the ladder is returning. I have to win the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup and the Premier League before I can even compete for the Champions League. This way by the end of the video we will have won everything with Arsenal. So this is the starting 11 I've loaded into, and as much as I hate to admit it, Arteta has done an insane job with Arsenal. Some of these players are just insane, likes of Gabriel Jesus, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Martinelli, and of course Bukayo Saka. The fact this Arsenal team almost beat Man City to the title this year just shows how good they are. But obviously they're not good enough, and that's why I'm here. The first thing I'm doing is switching the formation because I don't think the 4-3-3 holding variation suits Arsenal's playstyle in the slightest. Instead we're going for the 4-2-3-1 narrow, gives all of our attackers a lot more creativity, and it gives our defenders a little help with two CDMs right in front of them. And with that one simple change, already the team in my opinion looks way better. And the good news doesn't end there, as we've got 96 million to spend this season. But the question is, where the hell do I put that money? Now looking at the starting 11, it's obvious our backline is probably the weakest part of the team. And while Zinchenko in real life has been incredible for them, I think we definitely need a better fullback. And I'm not keeping Ben White as a fullback, he's going to be a centre back for me just in case Gabriel or Saliba gets injured. And I'm thinking of bringing in a midfielder because Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey and also Jorginho are all getting on now. But first I'm going to focus on bringing in a fullback, and I'm starting with Alejandro Grimaldo for the left back position. 83 rated, 26 years old. I think he'd do great at Arsenal. And because he only had 12 months left on his contract, we only had to spend 27.9 million on him. And for the right back role, I'm going a little unorthodox with Giovanni Di Lorenzo, who plays for Napoli. He's already helped them to win the title, so he can definitely help us win the Carabao Cup this season. And in my opinion, we got a great deal for Di Lorenzo, as we only had to pay 32.3 million for him. Now obviously I did want to bring in a midfielder as well, but with 28 million I don't think I'm going to bring anybody for that money that's going to fit into our team. But the good news is the team is looking like this, and we've sorted that defensive lineup out, and I couldn't be happier with it. Now obviously in real life this Arsenal team pushed Man City to the last 2 or 3 weeks in that title race, but for now I couldn't care less about that. All I want from this team this season is to win the Carabao Cup. That's the trophy we have to win before we can compete for any other trophy. And obviously we have Europa League football. We're in Group H alongside PSV, Bodo Glimt and FC Zurich. Now like I've just said, I'm not fussed how we do in this competition. It would be nice to win it, but as long as we win that Carabao Cup this year, I couldn't care less. We've just arrived in January and we are second in the league, only 2 points behind Manchester City. Just like in real life, Man City and Arsenal battling it out. But more importantly, we're in the semis of the Carabao Cup and we're facing off against the Bottle Jaws. We have to get past them. And in the Europa League, we finished second in the group stage and we're now into the knockouts. In stats wise, it's looking decent. 18 for Jesus, 15 for Martinelli and 10 for Saka. Now we do still have 42 million in the bank, but quite frankly, I don't think we need to even spend it. I'm betting a lot on this, but I think this is the squad that not only will win us the Carabao Cup, but the FA Cup as well. And as far as the Europa League is concerned, I'd love to win that. It'd be a nice little bonus for us. But like I've just said, right now, we have to win the Carabao Cup. We've just arrived in May, and it's just like in real life. We finished second. Manchester City were just too good for us this season in the Prem. But remember, that's not the trophy we're competing for this year. It's the Carabao Cup. And oh, the irony, we beat a Manchester City 1-0 to win the Carabao Cup. We can officially climb that ladder and compete for the FA Cup. But if we won the FA Cup this season, we can climb that ladder even further and compete for the Prem next year. Boys, Arsenal are on fire. We've beaten Liverpool 3-1 in the FA Cup. We're climbing that ladder once more, and next year we're competing for the Prem. We're in the Europa League. We get knocked out in the semi-finals against Feyenoord 5-4 on aggregate. I knew at some point someone had burst a bubble. But then again, when you take a look at the team, should we really expect anything less than what we've achieved this year? These are some of the most impressive stats I've seen in a while. Jesus with 43 goals and 20 assists in 62 games, 37 and 16 for Saka, 26 and 9 for Martinelli, Di Lorenzo 12 and 2, and Martin Odegaard 12 and 13. These boys have showed up. We've done the double already with Arsenal, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. We can now officially compete for the Premier League next year. We did come very close to winning the title this season, however Man Man City were just too strong for us, but next year we've got to make sure that we've got no weaknesses at all in our squad. We're now into season 2, and with last year's success, we have got 191 million to spend on the squad. But looking at the team right now, it's very difficult to place where I can actually put that money. I mean, maybe we bring in a younger and better midfielder in for Jorginho. He is 31 years old after all. I think we do that, and then we just go from there. Now, the player I'm going for will be an absolute nightmare to get past in that midfield. Milinkovic-Savic from Napoli, 6'4", 86 rated, and I do believe he's been put on the transfer list in real life. And due to the fact he only had 12 months left on his contract, we only had to spend 50.5 million for him. Boys, we still have over 135 million to spend after that transfer. And I don't see where we can put that money to good use in that starting 11. It really pains me to say it, but this Arsenal team is just another level. Maybe we turn our attention to the subs bench. We could definitely do with a better striker and certainly a better goalkeeper as well. Now for the striker, I'm going for someone I've never actually bought on career mode before. Wissam Ben Yedder, 32 years old, 83 rated, the perfect second striker. And for just 29.9 million, we made Wissam Ben Yedder an Arsenal player. And for the goalkeeper, I'm bringing back an old Arsenal player, Bernd Leno, who's actually doing really well at Fulham, and I think he'd be a great second choice goalkeeper for us. And to get him playing for us again, it only cost us £10 million. And even after those transfers, we still have 80 million left in our budget. But I refuse to spend any more money. Take a look at the starting 11. It is absolutely amazing. And now the subs bench does as well with the addition of Wissam Ben Yedder and Bernd Leno. Last year, when it didn't count, we finished second in the Premier League. It's just a matter of what we're going to do this year when it does count. And we've got an early opportunity silverware in the FA Community Shield final against Man City. This is going to be very interesting. We were toe-to-toe with each other last season and we beat them 3-2. If we can do that all season, we've got the Premier League in the bag. And obviously we are in the Champions League due to our second place finish last season. We're in Group H alongside Rangers, Roma and Club Bruges. And under normal circumstances, I'd love to win the Champions League every single time we're in it, but because we haven't won the Premier League yet, it doesn't mean anything. So quite frankly, I really aren't fussed how we do in this competition. Boys, we've just arrived in January and it is looking amazing. We are top of the league by 2 points. Boys, we could genuinely pull this off this season. And on top of that, we topped Group H with absolutely flying colours as well. And just take a look at these stats. 21-7 for Jesus, 11-3 for Martinelli, and 10-5 for Bukayo Saka. This is a joke at this point. We still have 99 million to spend. But genuine question, where do you put that money when you take a look at this team? I mean, I suppose an argument could be made we could improve our defensive lineup, but so far it's done the job, so I'm happy leaving it as it is. But right now, we're on course to winning the Premier League as we're top of the table, and we're also in the knockouts of the Champions League, so hopefully next season we can compete properly for the Champions League. You aren't going to believe where we ended up in the Premier League. We finished second again at the end of this season, 1 point behind Liverpool. This is just taking the pure piss. Knowing my lot, we've won every other trophy except the one we actually need to win. Well, that's a great start. We win the FA Cup, beating the same team that beat us to the title 2-1. I honestly can't believe it. We beat PSG 1-0 in the Champions League final. Oh my God. I actually called it. We've won every trophy apart from the one that we actually needed to win. So for at least one more season, we can only compete in the Premier League. I cannot believe that this team did not win the Premier League after winning the Champions League and the FA Cup this year. And the stats are once again insane. Gabriel Jesus were 41-16, 28-10 for Martinelli, 24-14 for Saka, 22-14 for Odegaard as well. Next season, I'm not going to give the team the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to spend the money on world-class players and get the job done in the Premier League. But before we carry on, if you're enjoying the video so far, leave us a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this. We are starting season 3 with $250 million in our transfer budget. And looking at the squad, I don't want to focus on any other area on that pitch aside from that back four. Now, I don't think we should replace either Saliba or Grimaldo. I do think we should replace Gabriel and Di Lorenzo though. And with the money we've got, I'd be stupid not to spend big. And with this signing, you know I mean business. Matthias de Ligt, 24 years old, 88 rated, 6'2". His stats are absolutely incredible. And he is officially our most expensive signing yet, as we had to spend 121.5 million to sign him. And with de Ligt in that backline, it already looks so much better, but I'm not done just yet. For that right back position, I am bringing in Dutch international Jeremy Frimpong, 87 rated, only 23 years old, and guess what? He's only got 12 months left on his contract. Meaning we just got the bargain of the century, as we only had to pay out 6 69.7 million for him. And with those two signings, we still have 48 million to spend, but our transfer window's done. Meaning this is the starting 11 that is going to enter season 3. Now we've just spent over 200 million on 2 individuals to improve this back line, so if we don't win the Premier League this time, I don't think we ever will. And obviously we are in the Champions League once again in Group B alongside Bayern Munich, Marseille and Young Boys. And just like last year, I really don't care how we do in this competition because it means nothing without winning the Premier League. Boys, we've just arrived in January and it is looking amazing. We are top of the league by 4 points. If we don't do it this year, we never bloody will. And on top of that, we finished second in Group B and we're once again in the knockouts of the Champions League. Only 2 players are scoring this year though. Martinelli with 21 and 4 and Saka with 16 and 8. Jesus is having a right season off. And it's very clear from looking at the squad, there's no reason to spend any more money on it. So this is the team that is going to finish off season 3. We're 4 points ahead halfway through the season. The team is looking absolutely amazing. We have to win the Premier League this year. Boys, we're at the end of the season and we've done it. We have finally won the Premier League. We're climbing that ladder once more and we are now able to compete in the Champions League. We also beat Liverpool 3-2 to win the Community Shield. And we've also beaten Brentford to win the FA Cup. And then we got our arses handed to us by Juve 4-2 on aggregate, man. That's appalling. We may not have won the Champions League this year, but we weren't even trying to. Next year, however, this squad is definitely winning that Champions League. Some of these stats are incredible. 35 goals and 6 assists for Martinelli, 33 and 17 for Saka, 32 and 10 for Jesus, and 11 and 20 for Martin Odegaard. Boys, we've officially won the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and Premier League in that order, meaning we can now properly compete in the Champions League. And I've got a feeling that next year's the year that not only do we compete in it, but we win the entire damn thing. And we're starting this season with an amazing budget of 235 million. Now looking at that starting 11, there's no weakness and I see absolutely no reason to try and improve it. But the subs bench is a different story. We need a better second choice striker, central attacker, midfielder and goalkeeper. Once we sorted that out, I don't think that there's a team on planet Earth that can stop this squad from winning the Champions League. Now I found a striker who's actually quite similar to Gabriel Jesus. Vitner, who currently plays for Real Sociedad, is 5'10", 25 years old, 83 rated, and his stats are remarkably similar to Jesus's. And I think we overpaid a little bit, but we had to spend 46.3 million to make him an Arsenal player. And I have found the perfect second choice central attacker midfielder, Dani Olmo, who currently plays for Bayern Munich, 27 years old, 87 rated, and his stats are absolutely insane. But he really wasn't cheap, as we had to pay out 97.7 million for him. And for the second choice keeper, I couldn't think of anyone better than Szczesny, 35 years old, 86 rated, got amazing stats, and I think he's got 1 good year left in him. And to make Szczesny's reunion with Arsenal happen, it only cost us 9 million on the dot. And with these 3 players now officially signed, our transfer window is done. And this is the team going into season 4, and my god, it is absolutely insane. I reckon by the end of this season, every single player in that starting 11 is going to be 90 rated at least. We have got everything we need at our disposal to win the Champions League this season. It's just a question if these boys can do it on the pitch. And speaking of the Champions League, we're in Group D alongside Inter Milan, Benfica and Nice. Now I know that Inter Milan have got a pretty good side and Benfica and Nice are pretty decent, but I guarantee you they're nowhere near as good as us, so I want to top this group with flying colours. Boys, we've just arrived in January and it is looking very bad in the Premier League. We're 4th in the league after 20 games. I know we're not exactly focusing on the Premier League, but I expect them to do a little bit better than that. We're in the Champions League, we topped the group just like I wanted to, and we're into the knockouts. And Jesus is back on form, 20 goals, 13 assists in 28 games. That is literally more than a goal contribution a game for him. And I'm not making a single transfer in this window, meaning this is the team that is going to go into the knockouts. And in that starting 11, there's only one player that isn't 90 rated, and that's Jeremy Frimpong, for God's sake. If this team doesn't win the Champions League, I seriously think this game is broken. And in the round of 16, we are facing Borussia Dortmund, the team who was just very recently choked the Bundesliga title. Now, I'm not saying that's going to have any effect on this tie in particular, but it does fill me with a bit of confidence that they do end up choking things. 2-1 in the first leg, Adeyemi in the 85th. Not enough to get the draw, but it looks good for the second leg for us. No disrespect intended towards Dortmund, because I actually do like Dortmund quite a lot, but I don't think they stand a chance in hell of getting back. Oh, I mean, That says it all, doesn't it? 4-1. We've absolutely annihilated him, and we are cruising to the quarters. We've definitely got a tougher opponent next. Manchester City in the quarter-final. And to top it off, Partey is suspended, and he won't be playing in the first leg. And as you'd expect, Man City's team is pretty damn terrifying. The backline's a bit questionable, but it's Man City we're talking about. We're away from home in the first leg. What can we do? So 2-2 win. Gabriel Jesus against his former club. Xhaka in the second. Gabriel Jesus in the 78th. We take the advantage in the second leg. Beating Dortmund in the round of 16 is one thing. They're a pretty good team, but beating City in the quarters, that is a statement. If we beat these now, we could potentially... Oh my god. We could actually pull this off, and we could potentially win the Champions League this year if we keep this going. I'll tell you what I've just said back, boys. We've drawn up against the Thanos of the Champions League, PSG, in the semi-final. I swear I can't go one Champions League run without meeting up against these pricks. And to make matters worse, Saliba is suspended for the first leg, meaning our defence is definitely going to be weaker than normal. But we've got to go through PSG one way or another without him. First leg, boys. Don't... Oh my god. Boys, we could actually pull this off, man. Saliba's back in the team. Our squad is back to the full strength. We're 2-1 up against PSG. Everything is looking amazing. Are we about to book our place in the final? We've done it 3-1. 5-2 overall. Jesus has had a field day against PSG, and we are finally in the Champions League final where it actually matters. And our Champions League final opponents actually haven't come up against them in a long time. Bayern Munich, the Giants of Germany themselves. We're in the Premier League. We definitely pulled our socks up by the end of the season. We've gone back-to-back winning the damn title. We are champions once again. We also beat Man City to win the FA Community Shield final as well. And we've also beaten Liverpool to win the FA Cup. We're on for the quadruple this season. I tell you now though, we had a shocker in the Carabao Cup. Freaking Doncaster beat us. And honestly, just take a look at some of these stats. 38 goals, 16 assists for Jesus, 34 and 12 for Saka, 13 and 3 for Martinelli, 10 and 19 for Odegaard, and Milinkovic-Savic 6 and 12. These boys have put a shift in. Honestly, boys, we've created a monstrosity of a team. No player in that starting 11 is below the rating of 90. And normally I'd point out individuals who've really impressed me, but every single player in that starting 11 has impressed me. But boys, Arsenal have never ever got their hands on the Champions League trophy, and I think it's about time we change that and make them the best team in the world. Can you see Jesus? Jesus has gone wing for some reason. Jesus against Christensen. He's got the better of him. Can he have a shot? He goes wide. Big chance missed early on to make it 1-0. Coman. Oh, no. Nope. Spotted Osimhen. What a save from... Oh, my crap. That is an amazing save. Grimaldo against Wijndal. Okay, Wijndal. Oh, it's gone past Grimaldo. Grimaldo, you got to be doing better than that, lad. Grimaldo, great recovery. Kingsley Coman is on the wing against Jeremy Frimpong. Jeremy Frimpong still in chase. Oh, he's left his man, though. Jeremy Frimpong, no! Can someone get this ball out, please? I don't like this ping-pong in the bloody penalty area. Oh, that's a beautiful ball, Bukayo Saka. He could make it 1-0. No, he's got Odegaard to make it 1-0. That is beautiful play from Arsenal. Counter-attacking at its finest. Odegaard finishes it off. Martinelli once again on the wing. He sees Odegaard. No! Oh, Jesus! Jesus! Oh, my God. Odegaard, why did you stop making that run, you donut? This is against Matthias de Ligt. I don't think... Oh, he's done well there. Gnabry. Oh, no. Osimhen makes it 1-1. You give that guy a chance, and he's going to take advantage of it every single time. Matthias de Ligt against Osimhen. In fairness, Osimhen is surrounded. Nope. If he gets back... There we go. That was amazing defending from us there. Bukayo Saka. Come on. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. So, I mean, Bukayo Saka, man. Are you ever going to doubt the guy in that position? Bukayo Saka picks it up. Even Bayern Munich's defenders are trying to pull him back. Can't catch him. Sommer doesn't stand a chance. It's 2-1 to us, and as it stands, we are winning the Champions League with Arsenal for the very first time in their club history. Oh my God, no. Osimhen. Oh, there we go. Aaron Ramsdale on form again. Osimhen has been a thorn in my backside this entire game. No. Please. Oh, Bayern Munich have just outplayed me and then some. Kingsley Coman finishing it off. 70 minutes in, 2-2. That all came from Osimhen. He has been a pain in my rear end this entire game, man. We need to start closing him down better. If there's one thing I don't want to happen in this game, is it go to extra time. I want to end this in the 90 minutes that were allocated. Jeremy Frimpong in shit. Oh my God. He has been absolutely done dirty there by Kingsley Coman. Close him down. This is good. Okay, he kept him at bay. That's beautiful defending from Frimpong. Gabriel Jesus, we're on for the counter here. If we can get this right, we've got it. Saka's picked it up. Odegaard, you're through. You're through. First touch was a bit... oh my God, that first touch was absolutely awful. Martinelli is being barely in it in this second half. He's found Jesus. Jesus, Saka to finish the game off in extra... oh my God. In extra time at the 90th minute, Bukayo Saka has given Arsenal their first ever Champions League trophy. Just look what it means to them, man. They're going absolutely nuts. Martinelli gets the ball on the wing. He's being absolutely silent in the second half. Gives it to Jesus. Jesus, Bukayo Saka is in acres of room. Keepers in no man's land. And Saka finishes it off in an open net. And that was the final kick of this game. Bayern Munich 2, Arsenal 3. Arsenal are the best team in the world. But we've won everything with Arsenal. The Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and now to finish off, the Champions League. And if you enjoyed this video, you should click somewhere right here to watch me do this exact same thing with Chelsea.